Kaizer Chiefs transfer update. Now, Kaizer Chiefs has officially submitted an offer for Victor Letsaolo to Real AM, but I just don't think I love or I like the disrespect that comes from Real AM. I don't know whether it's because they have money or what, but their comment is just so not Ayoba, or somehow it's a little bit of it's full of arrogance. Now, before guys I tell you about the full details, guys, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. I am on the journey to 5,000 subscribers, so if you subscribe, then you make things simple. Now back to the video, guys. Now the man by the name of Sinkimnisi, who is in charge at Royal AM, has officially made a comment to say, you know, if you are driving a Rolls Royce, you know, you can't come down and drive. People, you can't come down and drive your Mazda, you know, 323. I'm like, okay. So he's like, if Kaizer Chiefs want Victor Letsaolo, they must put money on the table. You know, so I don't know, guys, what's your take, but I think somehow there's some, they have this disrespect. For me, the way they are handling their businesses, I don't like the way they are handling their businesses. I love them as people, but I don't like the way they handle things. It's like they are doing things to be seen by us. They always want to make sure that we see them, then we make them trend. I don't like that, you know. Number one, Victor Letsaolo is actually 21 years or 28 years of age. So a player like that is got maybe 4 seasons or 5 seasons left in him, then it's done. You know, so for me, a team like Kaizer Chiefs should not invest in such a player, and no matter how hot is he, Kaizer Chiefs should just forget about him. Duplessis will make sense at Stellenbosch because he's younger than Victor Letsaolo. Because to me, I'm no longer, sometimes when I look at players, I don't look necessarily at their, I don't look only at what they are offering us, but I look at the age, because the age then speaks of the investment. And I keep saying this to you guys, that if you buy a player, you must buy a player that you yourself can actually make something out of it. You understand? If you buy, for instance, Sipombuli, at least if he performs well 2 seasons at Kaizer Chiefs, you can still sell him to an international market, but you can't sell Victor Letsaolo to an international market after 2 years. You know, clubs will be very reluctant to buy him, no matter how much goals does he score. You know what I'm saying? Because he has never built a reputation like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Benzema. You know, those guys, they've got serious reputation. Kylian Mbappe, they've got a particular reputation. So their reputation then tends to carry them even forward. That's why Cristiano Ronaldo can move to from Real Madrid to Juventus, and from Juventus to Manchester United. All those clubs are clubs with money. They pay him well, but what pays the most is the reputation. So the question is that with the likes of Victor Letsaolo, remember the problem that Kaizer Chiefs once landed themselves in. They bought old players when Stuart Baxter was there. Then when they had Steve Compella, he struggled with those guys because they were now getting old. So now that's why at some point we didn't see the full benefit of this man, Steve Compella, because at some point he was now struggling to balance the team. But if you have a team with the age gap or the age group that is good for future investment, even if you fire Stuart Baxter, the next coach will not struggle, you know, to take the team forward, because the edge is on the team side. Remember, you've got Parker, who's old, Matoho old, Cardoso old. You know what I'm saying? Kimelen Kune is only a few seasons left. Okay, at least in that department is covered, but there are quite a number of players whose age is now not on their side anymore. So you do not want to bring a player again whose age is not on his side, when you've got other players at Kaizer Chiefs whose age is not on their side. It doesn't really make sense from an investment point of view. But if Stuart Baxter just want to win a league in in the next year, or a cup next year, then he brings us just players and they allow that, then they are destroying Kaizer Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? For a future, because Stuart Baxter signed a 2-year contract at Kaizer Chiefs. His contract will end on next season. So if he's allowed to sign players like that, to me it doesn't really speaks of investment. It's just one of those ways of when you keep wasting money. Look at the player like Knowledge Msona. When Kaizer Chiefs bought a player like Knowledge Msona, whose edge was on his side, because he came to the Premier Soccer League. He stayed probably, how many seasons? Was it 3 or 4 seasons? He was doing wonders in those seasons, and then he was sold to an international market, and Kaizer Chiefs made a lot of money by selling him to an international market. Even now, as we speak, he's still playing international. It speaks of the fact that, it speaks of the idea that Kaizer Chiefs, you know, when they bought that player, there was investment mindset, you know what I'm saying? Look at the player Varalana Haya overseas. He's still playing, you know what I'm saying? He's still going strong because of when Kaizer Chiefs bought him, the edge was on his side. He came to the APSA Premiership. He did wonders, and then he was sold to the international market. So I'm looking at that angle. To me, buying Letsaolo doesn't make sense, guys. But I don't know about you guys. Let's talk in the comment section below.